Imagine walking through the grand corridors of the White House, only to hear the faint rustle of a suit from another century, or the echo of long-past laughter that chills the spine. This iconic building is not just the residence of the US presidents, it is also reputed to be America's most famous haunted house. From Abraham Lincoln to Andrew Jackson, the spirits of past residents are said to linger in its halls, blurring the line between the present and the historical specters of America's past. The tales are many, and they come entwined with the fabric of the nation's history, witnessed by staff, visitors, and even presidents themselves. This narrative delves into the eerie legends of the White House, exploring the spectral sightings and the historical context behind these ghostly apparitions. Prepare to be both informed and unnerved as we peel back the layers of history to reveal the phantoms of America's most storied residents. The White House, an emblem of American democracy, is also a cavern of secrets and spectral whispers. This grand edifice has housed the nation's leaders, but it is also the dwelling place of their lingering spirits. Stories of ghostly encounters, from the eerie to the downright terrifying, have surfaced over the years, supported by numerous eyewitness accounts. These phantoms are not merely residues of the past. They are vivid, compelling characters who continue to engage with the living. The most prominent of these are Abraham Lincoln and Andrew Jackson, whose formidable personalities and dramatic legacies seem to resist the silence of death. As this exploration unfolds, you'll discover that these tales, whether fact or fable, are woven into the very fabric of the White House, making it a uniquely haunted historical landmark. Let's step into the shadows of the presidential residence and meet its eternal inhabitants. The White House, constructed between 1792 and 1800, has been the scene of countless historical events, some of which have left an indelible mark on its character. The building itself has undergone numerous reconstructions and renovations, each layer adding to its complex history and perhaps to its ghostly population. The Civil War and the early 20th century are particularly rich in ghostly lore. During these times, the nation was fraught with turmoil and tragedy, conditions that some believe to be perfect for the emergence of spirits. These periods also coincide with peaks in reported sightings, suggesting a possible connection between national stress and the prevalence of ghost stories. Understanding this context is crucial for appreciating why the White House is more than just a building. It is a repository of both historical and supernatural narratives that reflect the nation's deepest fears and unresolved conflicts. Abraham Lincoln, perhaps the most cited president in the afterlife, is reported to roam the White House, particularly in times of national crises. First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt often worked in the Lincoln bedroom and spoke of feeling his presence, describing an atmosphere charged with purpose and intensity. Presidents, leaders, and staff have reported seeing Lincoln or feeling his influence. During World War II, Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands stayed at the White House and reported being awakened by his ghost, standing by her fireplace. Winston Churchill, after a long bath with a cigar and a glass of scotch, walked into the bedroom only to find Lincoln by the fireplace, a sight that left him startled but unharmed. These encounters suggest not just an active afterlife for Lincoln, but also his continuing engagement with the leadership and crises of the United States, serving as a comforting or daunting figure, depending on the historical moment. Andrew Jackson, the 7th President of the United States, known for his fiery temper and formidable personality in life, apparently carries these traits into the spectral realm. His presence in the White House is often reported in the form of hearty laughter, stomping boots, and an overwhelming aura of authority that fills the rooms. The Rose Room, Jackson's bedroom during his presidency, is considered the most haunted room in the White House. Numerous employees have reported hearing Jackson swearing and laughing heartily, an echo of his spirited and tumultuous tenure. Mary Todd Lincoln claimed she could hear Jackson pacing back and forth, presumably wrestling with the weighty issues he faced while president. These tales of Jackson's ghost not only animate the history of the White House, but also remind us of the powerful personalities that have shaped the United States. His lingering spirit suggests a continued watchfulness or perhaps an eternal restlessness reflective of his time in office. The White House is not only haunted by its most famous occupants. There are numerous reports of lesser-known staff and even pets that left their ethereal marks on the premises. Willie Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln's 11-year-old son, who died in the White House, has been sighted by guests and staff. His young ghost often seen playing or looking out of the windows. Pets, too, have made their spectral appearances. President John F. Kennedy's beloved pony, Macaroni, and Franklin D. Roosevelt's dog, Fala, have reportedly been seen or heard. Their presence not only softens the eerie nature of ghost stories, but also adds a layer of domestic normality to the otherwise imposing aura of the White House. These stories bring to life the everyday aspects of the White House and remind us that it is and has always been a home. They provide a poignant reminder of the personal losses and private moments of those who have lived and worked there. The personal experiences of those who have lived in the White House provide some of the most compelling evidence of its hauntings. President Harry Truman once wrote to his wife, Bess, describing how he heard knocks and footsteps at night, joking that he might eventually meet the ghosts everyone talked about. Decades later, during the Obama administration, Michelle Obama spoke candidly in interviews about strange noises and feelings of an unseen presence that could not easily be shrugged off. These accounts from presidents and their families add a layer of authenticity to the ghost stories and also show how these experiences are a common thread among the occupants of the White House. The personal nature of these stories also humanizes the presidents, revealing their private encounters with the unexplainable and adding a unique perspective to the heritage of the presidency. While the tales of hauntings are compelling, they are met with a considerable degree of skepticism. Scientists and skeptics argue that the high-stress environment of the White House and the power of suggestion might contribute to these supernatural experiences. Environmental factors such as old, creaky structures and the large, sometimes poorly lit spaces of the White House may also create the perfect setting for the mind to perceive ghosts. Psychologists suggest that pareidolia, the tendency to attribute familiar characteristics to random stimuli, could explain why people see faces or figures in shadows and curtains. This is compounded by the intense pressure and sleep deprivation that are often part of life at the White House, potentially heightening sensory illusions or misinterpretations. Understanding these psychological and environmental factors is crucial in providing a balanced view of the White House ghosts, reminding us that not all whispers in the dark are from beyond the grave. The ghost stories of the White House do more than just chill the spine. They weave into the fabric of presidential law, influencing how presidents are remembered and how they influence American culture. These tales humanize the presidency, portraying presidents not just as political figures, but as characters in America's grand, spooky story. These stories also serve as metaphors for the unresolved issues of their times. Lincoln's ghost, for instance, is often seen during periods of national crisis, symbolizing perhaps the unfinished business of unity and equality. These narratives provide a way for the public to engage with their history and leaders in a manner that is both intimate and mythic. Interest in the supernatural has made the White House a subject of fascination, not only for those interested in politics, but also for those who love a good ghost story. Official tours of the White House include mentions of its ghostly lore, and unofficial ghost tours in Washington, D.C. capitalize on this eerie attraction, drawing tourists eager to connect with the more spectral side of American history. This fascination reflects a broader cultural interest in haunted locations and ghost stories, which tap into our collective love for mystery and the thrill of the unknown. The White House, with its blend of deep historical significance and eerie tales, stands as a prime example of how ghost stories can engage the public imagination and offer a darker glimpse into national heritage. As we reach the end of our spectral journey through the White House, it is clear that these ghost stories are more than mere entertainment. They are cultural symbols reflecting the nation's history, its crises, and its leaders in a uniquely engaging way. These phantoms, whether real or imagined, serve as a bridge between the past and the present, reminding us of the ongoing dialogue with our history. The tales of hauntings at the White House allow us to explore themes of legacy, memory, and identity. They remind us that history is not just about the facts, it is also about the stories we tell and the meanings we create. The ghosts of the White House, in this sense, are not just inhabitants of a haunted house. They're active participants in the narrative of American identity and history, forever entwined with the living who walk its halls. This essay has unraveled the threads of these ghostly legends, showing how they illuminate the corners of American culture and history, making the White House not just a home to presidents, but a home to some of America's most enduring stories.